Good evening and bienvenue, my fond fair friends, family, and subscribers. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you, well, yet another part of What If a Monster Hunter was sent to the world of Remnant, or to the Rwby universe, should we say. Now, where we last left off, Ignatius just got through dealing out some just dessert. Or should I say, righteous vengeance to Carden. However, he he still is very, very irritated. Beyond irritated, you could even say filled with hatred. But he lets it pass as he's now responsible for a team. And he only has his interests to worry about. However, this is where we're going to get into something quite interesting with today's episode. Oh yes, I'm going to be covering a lot of ground somewhat quickly to advance the plot, if you will. So, hold on to the seat of your britches. This might be a wild ride. Now, minor time skip of a couple of days since the incident. And Ignatius has been training Jean thoroughly alongside the teams, essentially Team Igni and Team Juniper have been doing joint team exercises constantly. Ignatius teaming up with Jean to, get him up to speed, as well as to push him to the point where he can keep up. And boy, is it showing. Jean's gotten faster, stronger, and he's learned quite a few different techniques. And I do mean quite a few. He's picked up on how to do ducking roll blocks, and as well as a few other fanciful maneuvers, such as the Helm Splitter technique, and of course the tried and true jumping shield smash. We all know and love that technique for all the shield sword mains. In case you don't know, Helm Splitter is where you run off a back wall, jump out into the air, and then proceed to, dig your blade deeply into the opponent's head and or body part, wherever it is. Your main goal is to go for the head, aka Helm Splitter, but it can hit pretty much anywhere and be fairly devastating as it buries through. The jumping shield smash is, as the name implies, you use your own momentum from slashing upwards towards the beast to propel yourself even higher. You then take your shield and flip around in the air and slam it down, preferably on the beast's head. He's gotten to the point where he's actually getting a bit proud of Jean. And while he was minorly upset with him about the book incident, he knows it's not his fault. So, he decides to do a very special thing. Hey, Jean. Yeah, Igni? Hold out your hand. My hand? Hold it out. Which one? Your weapon hand. He extends his right hand forward. Now close your eyes. Close them. Okay. And he suddenly feels a weight getting placed upon his arm. He says, "What is this?" "Hush, keep them closed." As he feels a few, sorry about that, as he feels a few straps and everything else getting placed on, well, hears and feels. As when he's done, open them. What is this? It's a slinger, similar to mine. I've taught you a decent amount. To advance further, might be useful to give you some actual added tools. Igni, I don't know what to say. Thank you? Don't thank me yet. Remember, the hell that you asked for is only just beginning. What do you mean? Oh, I've taught you basics. Remember, we still have to up your stamina. It's like, oh God, no. Oh God, yes. By the Sapphire Star, I will make you a proper shield sword user. As he grabs his shoulder. And don't you worry, no matter how much you cry, beg, or scream, I'll make sure that you will succeed. Oh God, no. Oh God, yes. As Pyra, Nora, and Ren are just going, well, you're on your own, boss. See ya. It's like, he says, hey, Gallon. Yeah? As Gallon gets done with his repetitions and working out on the bench. What is it, boss? Why don't you guys go and try and find Team Rwby and go have yourselves a bit of a day out on the town. I gotta go get a little bit more, how should I say, harsh training with Jean. No, please don't leave me, Jean says, trying to get out of this. He's like, sure. Oh, before you go, he just hands him a bag of money. Be like, have fun. How do you have this? Don't worry about it. Trust me when I say, where I'm from, they handed that stuff out pretty readily. You know what? Sure. As Pyra walks over to where he is, says, oh, aren't you gonna go out with them? No. Why not? Someone has to make sure Jean doesn't die from your over-enthusiastic training. You know what? Fair point. Wait, you were actually going to? Oh yeah, you could, but I'd bring you back, maybe. What do you mean by maybe? Well, it depends on how badly you died. So, so he tries to run away and then gets caught with the claw from the Igni's slinger. What the hell is that? Relax. You'll find out soon enough. Now, let's get to training. As, well, Ignatius pushes Jean to the point of breaking. I mean, oof. The amount of things he has him run and jump and move around. He no longer holds back when he's swinging his shield and sword at him. They go at each other full throttle, and Jean knows he has to either fight or get hurt. Because if he tries to run, it's only gonna make him tired whenever he does get caught. The only way to not get hurt is, well, to fight back as hard as you can. And he does. And it's actually fairly good. Well, Pyra just sits down in the back row watching the two and occasionally swapping out with Jean whenever he needs a breather. But now we're going to focus on the rest of the teams. Oh, yes. You see, Igni gave them a bag of money to play around with, and, well, they're going to have some fun. Everyone goes out in the town. Team Rwby was already planning on having a bit of a party, going out and celebrating and just having a good relaxing time. While the others kind of needed a break from the extensive, well, Team Igni and Juniper from, well, they just needed a break from the over-enthusiastic training regime their tormentor Igni was putting them through. And so, they get it. As they're walking around through the town, well, a bit of a parade happens. All of them stop and see what's going on as Atlas is, well, showing off some new robots, or automatons, I should say, on how powerful, lean, prestigious they are, how they could replace any soldier and soon they'll be mass marketed and sold to save more people, and who knows, maybe even replace hunters. Like that would be a thing over Ignatius's dead body. And that's whenever Eugene says, yeah, no thanks. I saw what Igni could do to like 20 of those things over at the warehouse. Yeah, those don't scare. Yeah, those don't scare me. Like, wow. Yeah, he got a point. I mean, they aren't anywhere near as strong as he was. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us could take at least one of them down, if not more than a group. True enough, Yang replies. Galen just says, I'm getting hungry. Pancake house, anybody? Nora, pancakes? Hell yes. As everyone just kind of goes, sure. Starts walking around to, well, nearest pancake house. But let's just say not everyone goes there. Because Rwby gets separated from the group. And everyone wonders where she went after a good solid few minutes, and Natasha decides to say, don't worry, I'm good at tracking people, I'll find her. You sure? Yeah, I'll be back real quick. And so, she heads off after her. The rest of the gangs are enjoying their time, eating, drinking, having a fun time. And then Galen and Nora get into a pancake eating competition. Oh boy. Yeah. It lasts a while. Nora, because she just simply loves fucking pancakes. Galen, because Galen doesn't like to lose. I don't know if I've told you this, but he's quite stubborn. And he won't give up until he literally cannot go on. So yes, they keep going, and going, and going, and going, until about the 50th pancake per each of them, and Nora's reaching for number 53, for stack number 53, and Gallon's just going, okay, I give. Oh, oh, oh. I smell raspberries. As he leans back, I give, I yield. You win. And Nora just smiles happily, says, you gonna finish that? Be like, have 'em. As he hands her the half-eaten pancakes from his plate, and she, well, devours through them all. As the rest of the people are just like taking videos of this little contest and everything that's going on there, and just going, okay then. But back with Natasha and Rwby. Rwby's found somebody. A young lady with dark orange hair, pale skin, and a frilly white dress. And a very, very, well, hyper attitude. As soon as Natasha finds her, she goes, wait, why are you over here? Aren't you supposed to be with us? Well, yeah, but I found somebody. I think they, well, hi, my name is Penny. It's good to meet you, Penny. But, shouldn't we be getting back to the group? She kinda needs our help. Needs some help, and Rwby kinda stammers and says, I get it, give me a second. And she sends a text message via scroll to the rest of the group saying, hey, me and Rwby found a place where we're gonna hang out by ourselves for a bit. No need to catch up. Just keep doing what y'all are doing. Yang responds, you sure? We don't mind tagging along with y'all. So, nah, we're good. Just gonna have a little bit of a excursion. Alright, if y'all are sure. And so, they continue on from there. As Natasha says, okay, it's covered. You sure? Oh yeah, completely covered. Everything's fine. Wow. Thanks, Nah. Thanks. No problem. So, Penny, was it? Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. She extends her hand, and Natasha extends her for a formal shake, and whenever they grip each other's hands, yeah, Natasha kind of winces slightly from, well, Penny's grip. They go through the whole spiel. If y'all haven't seen the episode, well, go watch it. It's relatively fun. And yes, I'm doing this earlier than in the standard one. Things have changed in my ways. Yes. And so, they go on their own little adventure. We'll catch up with them later. Right now, back to, well, Igni, Jean, and Pyra. Jean is, well, laying down on the ground, gasping for air after doing a 10-mile run. Pyra's a bit winded, and, well, Igni is just going, come on, you can do more. Says, I can't do more. Says, here, drink this. What is it? Drink. But drink. Okay. And he downs this strange-looking yellow liquid. And as soon as he does, he pops straight back up and goes, whew. What was that? Dash juice. Now run. It's like, what do you mean dash? Run. Okay. And he takes off like a scalded dog. Oh, does he take off? As Igni just goes, well, he'll be doing that for a little bit. What did you just give him? Dash juice. Dash juice? tastes bitter as hell, but it basically keeps a fresh supply. Basically makes it where you inhale a lot quicker. That's it. Oh no, chemically speaking, it just makes it to where your body no longer experiences the pain from suffocation, while at the same point in time increasing your respiratory functions. So he'll be able to keep his body oxygenated to the bare minimum while pushing his body to the extreme limits. How do you know this? It was in my sister's notes. I see. So he's going to be doing that for a little while. Yeah, in fact, I wouldn't. In fact, I'd probably expect him to be running back around here in about half the time that it took him to get around here the first go around. Seriously. Oh, yeah. This stuff is amazing. Only problem is, it doesn't last forever. He's got about maybe 5 minutes before it winds up killing out on him. But in that period of time, he should be able to catch up real quick. Okay. So you're saying we got about, what, 5 minutes? For him to catch up from another 10 mile? I'd say we got probably around 10 before we have to start actually going looking for him. As well, they start walking a bit more at a steady pace. And they get to talking more and more, and Ignatius says, I'm sorry. What? You saw a side of me I don't really show people that often. I don't interact with a lot of people, or at least I didn't used to. The only other person I really go out and be around was my, well, research guide, or at least that's what she called herself. And yeah, and she didn't even go out on hunts with me. She would just set up the base camp and everything else. Whenever I hunted, I was usually always by myself. Except for those rare occasions I was forced into a team. And now I'm leading one. The irony isn't lost on me. So I'm saying that I wasn't used to working in groups for extended period of time. And that whenever I'm with all of y'all, it does make me happy. But y'all did see a side of me during that whole Roman incident that I don't like showing off. I apologize. It's no big deal, Igni. We all have secrets. Yeah. Usually secrets don't wind up turning you into a crazy, bloodthirsty son of a gun. You were not crazy or bloodthirsty. You listened to reason. Yeah, but if no one would have gave me that reason, I would have split the guy right in half with little to no hesitation. You're something else, you know that? I try. So, how are things with you and Jean working out? She looks at him puzzled. What do you mean? Well, don't you kind of have the pots for them? I mean, I see the way you watch over them, you guard them, you give them advice. I mean, I figured you two were an item. No. No? He's, in case you didn't notice, a bit fragile. Ah, yes. So you're saying it was just motherly instinct, I guess you could call it? Well, damn. And here I thought all the time, whenever you were hanging around him, whenever you were sticking around our training sessions, you were doing it to just make sure I wouldn't hurt your little love bug. Oh well, guess I was dead wrong. Yeah, you kinda were. My apologies then. You're just a very caring teammate. Nothing wrong with that. Hell, I wish there were more people like you where I came from. What do you mean? Oh, whenever where hunters in my world, well, my home, get together for a mission, it's very rarely ever permanent. We split the reward fees, we harvest the parts from the monster we want, get rewarded from the commission, and then it's usually bye bye, see you later, maybe do a few more hunts together, or if you're lucky, maybe even form a team or clan. But you gotta be careful, because some clans are just mercenary groups that want to extort fresh hunters for, well, items and or other crap. Wow. Yeah. It's quite irritating. Reason I preferred hunting solo. I see. How long did you hunt for? If you're talking about setup, it took days. Usually each hunt for setup work took about a couple days of tracking the beast and making sure it was in the area. But each hunt lasted about hour or less. An hour or less. Yeah. The creatures where I'm from are quite sturdy. Not like these Grim here. The Grim here are, well, their skin, their hide is not as rough or coarse from what I've seen. They primarily use bone plating or an exterior carapace as protection. Creatures where I'm from, their skin was like iron at some points. You had to really work hard to get your blade in between the edges and creases. Heck, sometimes there were even creatures that covered themselves in a mucous membrane that made it to where our edges wouldn't get any the edges of our blades wouldn't get any traction and just slide off. It was quite irritating. I see. Yeah. Can you give me an example of some of these creatures? Well, we had a couple called quite a few of them actually. We had a set pair that were known as the Rathalos and Rathian. Rathalos and Rathian? Winged Wyverns. The Rathian, she governed the ground, hunting, killing prey for her young. She was the female of the two. The reason why her skin was always more darker colored, camouflaged, a dark and green, a dark and light green. She would blend in, surprise her foes, and then poison them. After she did that, she would rend the flesh off of their bones and bring it back to her young. Wow, that sounds impressive. And then you have the Crimson King, the Rathalos. The Crimson King, King of the Skies. He was the guardian. The guardian? Protector of the nest. Whenever the Rathian was away hunting, the Rathalos was always guarding. Reason why his skin texture was a bright crimson red. He made himself known to everything and everyone around him. He was there to make sure nothing harmed his eggs, his young. Combine that with his brutish style of fighting and his sheer fact he was a pain in the ass to pin down to the ground, and you wind up with a devastating pair, especially when both of them were together. Wow. They sound fascinating. Yeah. You just never want to piss them both off at the same time. I got a scar on my thigh from that one. How did you get that? They have this type of sharp talon or horn, I guess you'd call it, coming out of the lower parts of their jaw. It allows them to peel and break off the carapace of any animals they pin down, as well as to impale things real up close without risking biting them. Whenever I was a fresh hunter back at my home, I wound up pissing one off. It got up close, and whenever I dodged out the way for a roll, it lunged its head at me and caught me mid-roll. Got a 10-inch gash right across my leg where it went about half an inch deep. A little bit more to the left or right. Well, a little bit more to the left, it would have caught my femoral artery. I would have bled out in minutes. Wow. Yeah, or was it seconds? Yeah, I got real lucky that day. One flash pod and a mega potion later, and I was gone. Oh, lordy, was I gone. You ran? Of course I ran. I'm no moron. If you're in a bad situation, you run away, regroup, and then come back. You don't just keep going if it's a fool's errand. You only do that if you're either got a plan you're got ready to set up, or if you were good at improvising. Back then, I was not good at improvising, so I hauled ass. Wow. Impressive. Not really. I ran like a scalded dog. No, but it's impressive that you didn't try and go back after it. Most young hunters would have tried to keep on going after it until it ran away or until they killed it or it killed them. What can I say? I figured if I died that quickly or that easily, my dad would bring me back just to beat my ass. Sounds like a nice man. Yeah, he is. You know, talking with you like this is really great. You know that, Pyra? As next thing you know, how do I stop? As he turned around and sees Jean using the slinger, his grappling hook addition to, well, sling himself around Beacon Academy. Be like, oh boy. He figured out how to use part of it at least. Oh boy. As Igni just says, I got it. And, well, grappling's up and catches Jean as they fall back down. Says, whoa, relax. Boom. Land, make a bit of a crater, and he drops on the ground. Care to tell me how that happened? Yeah, it was on the run, and I looked at the grappling, at the slinger, and wondered how it worked, and I clicked something, it fired, and I wound up going into the air, and I couldn't stop. I was about to fall, and I just kept on going and going and going, because I didn't want to fall. And Igni just smiles and just goes, oh, really? You just kept on... You got good instincts. Well, looks like we'll have to train him up to be greater. Oh, God, no. Oh, God, yes. As now we cut back to the rest of the gang. and a bit of a fight's broken out. Not in the Pancake Hub, no, no, no. This is between, well, oh yes, some White Fang, Rwby, Natasha, Penny, as they are all going at it. Next thing you know, they get reinforced by the rest of Team Juniper, Gallon, Ignatius, Rubies, and the rest of Team Rwby, as it turns into a whole little incident. Yes, you could say quite a few things went down during the whole chat time with Ignatius. As well, thanks to the sheer amount of reinforcements that Team Rwby had, yeah, they were able to drive them off a lot quicker before a lot of things got noticed or picked up or anyone had to get called in. Penny has to go back to her father. She basically says goodbye and fair wishes and all that. And Natasha has a big smile on her face. Everything's just going well. Hunky-dory. Now we're getting into the real shit. A few weeks before the dance, the dance is going to be a couple weeks away. However, before then, there's some extra, how should I say, work to be done. As a special project has been posted, where the teams will go off and be escorted by a professional hunter as they do their job. And, well, Team Rwby want to really go on this particular mission that brings them out into a very, very rough environment. And boy oh boy, do they really, really want to go. But then Igni also sees this same thing and decides, ooh, this would be fun. Middle of the woods, with me and my friends, my team, yeah. Alright, let's go, Eugene says. Igni, that's only meant for like the higher ups. We should be taking the first year quests, not the third year. Oh, it's fine, come on. Like, where's your sense of adventure, Eugene? It's with my sense of safety. Hey, Gallon, you're backing me up on this, right? Hell yeah, let's go. I mean, we're better named than most of the people here anyways. Hey, don't say that. You know what I meant. Yes, I know what you meant, but don't say that. Yeah, good point. We're pretty badass in our own right. Exactly. And as long as we got you two with us, Ignatius points to Eugene and Natasha, well, I'm pretty sure we'll be safe from any surprises that could come our way. As both of them just facepalm and sigh, as Eugene and Gallon just kind of fist bump and yeah. And that's whenever, well, Ignatius gets the idea to go straight to Mr. Ozpin, says, I think he could overrule it for us. As whenever he goes to find him, well, he's already talking with Team Rwby. He says, Mr. Ozpin, I need to talk with you there for a moment. Oh, what about? Well, you see, sir, I want to take this particular quest right here. Well, that's awfully bold of you. Why so? Well, for one, it's a research mission into an old abandoned town. That's adventure enough of a spirit right there. Two, deep forest, possibly lots of grim. I could use the workout. Three, stealth, and no offense, none of my team is trained in stealth properly, so I figured it'd be a good way to get them worked up on it. And four, it's, to be honest with you, I just really want to go. I feel like I've been cooped up in this town for too long. Very well. However, Miss Rwby and her team have also wanted to go on that exact same one. Oh? Wow. That's a coincidence, but that's also a shame. We can't both do it. Who says? Huh? Well, here's the thing. Normally, I wouldn't allow first years to go out there. Very dangerous and risky. However, not only have both of your teams proven to be invaluable, as well as skilled, but you've also proven to where if you want to do something, you're going to try and do it no matter what. So instead of you both trying to do things your own way, he overrides it, and considering all 8 of you will be going on this quest together, I see no problem in it. As Ignatius just, thank you, sir, as he grips his hand and starts shaking Mr. Oz, whooping down wildly like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, this is going to be a blast. I finally get to bring out the stealth armor again. Oh, wait, I have to bring out the stealth armor again. Shit! So you have another set of armor? Like, yes, I have one for almost any occasion. What occasion is the bone armor set for, then? Intimidation? And to remind me not to get too cocky, because if I do, I wind up becoming part of that bone pile. Yeah. Helps me keep my mind clear, but in this case, I'm gonna need something that's quick and agile. I got just the set. Ignatius, you are weird. So you keep telling me, but to me, this entire place is weird. There's still things I don't know about this place. It's like, and I've been here for weeks. Weird. Once you're all set and ready to go on the bullhead in, 12, in about 12 o'clock, your guide, Mr. Oobleck, will be there waiting for you. And, they take off. And Ignatius is getting everything he thinks he'll need stocked and ready. As he tells his team, hey, you guys, here. He hands them all, pardon me one moment. As he hands them all, these belts. So, what are all these for? He gives them all and says, put them on. Hurry. They do as he reaches into his bin and pulls out several different potions and poultices and stocks them all in there. All right. Standard potions, check, as he opens up the bigger pouch and divides them up into, there. The several small vials into, there. Brings out the mega potions, stores them up in another small pouch inside the bigger pouch. There. Antidotes. He places a few in there. And let's see here. He pulls out several armor and power charms. Here you go, 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 here you go. What's all this for? We're going on an expedition. It's going to be dangerous. There's going to be things we don't know about. It's best to be safe. Says, oh, we might also need these. As he brings out smoke bombs and pods and everything else and stacks them all in there. Now, I gotta get changed into my armor. That might take me about a good 20 minutes. Y'all get going. What? Go! Okay, jeez. As they all, well, take off back to meet up with Team Rwby. They're waiting for a good solid 15 minutes and, well, they meet Oobleck, the coffee addict himself. And the rest of the team is, well, the teams are somewhat unimpressed. Eugene finds him fascinating because, well, he's fascinating. You're like, oh, well, he's knowledgeable at least. He might not be the best choice for this type of mission, but who knows? He could be surprising us. For all we know, he has a couple of different things that he has up his sleeve. And that's whenever they hear the telltale voice of Ignatius saying, "Sorry for the wait!" As they see this red, well, this red suit of armor walking towards them in a similar fashion to that of a, well, samurai, you would call it. Sorry I'm late. I hate this stuff. It takes a while to put on. It's not as good as my standard armor, but it has a few other bonuses that it doesn't have. That's new. What is Odo-Garen? Odo-Garen? We call it, we nicknamed it Clifford. Clifford, big red dog. Big red dog. I'll tell you more about it later. And I'm assuming you're the hunter. Yes, I am Professor Oobleck, as he kind of looks over his arm. We're going, ooh, quite fascinating. Chitinous material, very strong, very durable. Been altered in a similar way to lacquer. Very interesting, very interesting. Cloth allows for more maneuverability and to breathe. Never seen this material anything quite like it, honestly, as he moves around constantly over through him, and he takes notice of the weapons he's packing. Quite odd. What are these? My dual blades. They are quite useful for this particular situation. Short in range, but I'm not one to judge. Who knows? Could be quite useful. What do they turn into? Oh, well, they turn into this. They're only dual blades. Yes. Interesting choice. Would love to see how they work. Well, let's get ready. As he enters in, and the team are just going, do you not see anything wrong with this? Especially Gallon looking at him like, dude, hey, we're accompanying him. I think we're going to be babysitting. Nonsense. Nonsense? Nonsense. What do you mean by nonsense? Have you seen the guy? He looks scrawny. Have you seen the guy? He looks scrawny. Yes, but that doesn't mean jack. He could be a researcher. A researcher? A scout. A field researcher. We had him back where I'm from as well. They go out into the field alone usually, maybe with a small team. They aren't meant for frontline combat, but what they can detail and find out, it's beyond amazing. We need people like that, because with information is knowledge. And the more information we have, the more powerful we have. Well, information is knowledge, duh. Information is power. The more we're informed, the less power the enemy has, or the Grim in this case, and the more power we possess. Says, I'd never really thought about it like that. Besides, if he's not a frontline fighter, it'll give me a chance to show off. as Yang just says, how many different sets of armor do you have? Not enough to give out to anyone as a present. But if we wind up killing something that could drop some very good hide or anything like that, I'll be happy to make you some. It's like, uh-huh. No thank you. Don't knock it till you try it. As he just gets comfortable. So you said that thing came from an Odogaran. What the heck is that? Ah, Odogaran. Large fanged wyvern. Fanged wyvern? Where I'm from, we have different classifications of wyvern. Winged wyvern are ones that are, well, think of it primarily as instead of arms or frontal claws, they have wings. They spread out into wings, usually 2 hind legs, large tail, and a smaller head for proper counterbalancing. Then you have Fanged Wyverns, relatively large beasts, similar to that of the canine. You can tell they're Fanged Wyverns because they walk on all 4, usually digitigrade structures of the legs, and they're usually quite ferocious. One of the most common ones where I'm around is Odogaran, but from where I was previously, there was also the Zinogre. He was a bastard, but he looked so cute too. Anyways, the Odogaran is primarily a stealthy creature. Despite the bright red appearance, you could, well, move quite fast and blend into dark environments well. I see. His primary ability was to, well, rend the flesh of the opponent so well that it would cause bleeding damage. Or rather, damage over time with large gaping holes left in the person. Had 2 sets of claws on the frontal legs. One set was for digging and gripping, while the other set was for slicing and tearing. Quite brutal. Combine that with high agility and a near crazy intelligence, insane amount of intelligence, you've got yourself quite a monster. Uh-huh. And how big was this thing? About the size of your average bus. Your average bus. About the size of your average bus. Okay then. And you killed it. Oh yes. Took me a little bit. Little bastard kept on running away. But I tracked him down eventually. With enough flash pods, I was able to blind him enough to get him trapped up in a nice, well, shock trap. Boy, was that fun. I see. Oh yeah. Of course, I will admit it was a pain in the ass. Especially considering the sheer fact I was bleeding the entire time. Forgot to bring proper nutrition. Really, what type of things would you have that could stop bleeding besides a bandage? Oh, Altera jerky. Altera jerky. Yeah, it's a namesake of the place of the town I lived in, Altera. Basically, it helped the blood coagulate. So not only tastes good, but if you're bleeding, pop one of those in and you're fine. Relatively speaking, in a couple of minutes. So your people are very weird. And I say again, your people are also as weird. I mean, where I'm from, you didn't have giant swords that giant size that turned into rifles. Nor did you have flying machines that made this much noise. As he taps on the bullhead. You have flying machines where you're from? Yes, they're primarily airships. Attach a giant balloon to the back of it and pump enough hot air, it goes. You guys fly with balloons. Well, yes, for one, it doesn't disturb any of the creatures in the sky. Last thing you need is a rampaging Valtrex destroying a random airship because it got in its way. What the hell's a Valtrex? Legendary elder dragon that can move at subsonic speeds. Excuse me? Oh yeah. Its entire body is... What is an elder dragon? Oh man. You know what? That's too much to explain in this amount of time. Maybe another day. For right now, I'm going to rest while we get back to the actual place. As everyone has more questions than were answered. And that's whenever the rest of Team Igni realizes, while Igni knows a lot about them, they surprisingly don't know a lot about Igni. They don't know a lot about where he came from, or really who he was. And it kind of upsets them a little bit. Like, dang, he's listened to all of us, but we've barely gotten to know him, it feels. And so, once they land, everyone gets out, Ignatius starts stretching, and finally. Alright, everybody, I'm gonna go set up camp. What? Or at least find a few places where you can set it up. As he walks over to Mr. Ublek. I'm gonna scout ahead. Don't worry, I'll make sure to keep my scent. Don't worry, I have things to get rid of my scent and smell. Nothing will notice me. I'm gonna scout ahead to see if there are any possible locations where we could set up a camp. Keep track of me via scroll. Eugene, can you give me a quick area perimeter search? Sure thing. As he takes a knee and focuses in, he picks up a few things on radar, but they seem to be minor Beowulf packs and such. He says, nothing major, just standard forms. Nothing major, standard small packs. As long as we avoid them, shouldn't come into harm. Right. As well, he takes out as Ignatius takes out his dual blades and starts running along. Ublek just says, be careful. I will. As the rest of the team starts taking care of their jobs and following along with Ublek as they pick up, well, transmissions from Ignatius from time to time, telling him where he is as well as what he spotted until he finds, well, the remains of the town. And that's where I think I'll end it off here. Trust me, next chapter on this one is going to be a blast, so stay tuned. And thank you for putting up with me. Have a good time, and if y'all guys really want what happened back there with the fight between all of them explained, I might do a part B to it. So, have fun. Bye for now.